Kyle Busch came up and shook your hand after last week after Infineon. Is that all over with, and you guys are all good to go, or your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't call it good to go on that. I mean, we raced together for a lap and a half. I was as confused about all that as everybody else.
All right, thank you.
You've had fun and games with Kevin in the past, and certainly got to deal with some of maybe his head games last year to some degree. Obviously, he's got 3 wins. He's going to be somebody everybody has to deal with, at least for a while, or into the chase. What did you learn from that experience in playing those games? And secondly, obviously, some talk about Kyle's handshake with Kevin, whether that was genuine or whether that was Kyle trying to get back at him in a way. How did you view, if you have a view of Kyle's handshake with Kevin after last week's race?
I didn't even see it, to be honest with you. They did?
Kyle went up to Kevin and shook his hand.
Oh. I would consider it genuine. I wouldn't think that Kyle's just not a head games type of guy. I don't believe. I believe in 2008, when he was winning a lot of races. I remember a race, throughout the season, a lot of emphasis was being put on Kyle and different things that he was doing, and I remember a lot of teams going after them as far as trying to play head games and stuff with them. But Kyle never really kind of responds to that. I don't feel like he never really does anything on track to instigate it. I feel like he's one of the most fair racers really out there, even though that he's aggressive at times. It's not. He does a pretty good job of keeping it relatively safe for the other drivers. So I would consider it something that is sincere. But as far as with Harvick, I mean, that's kind of the team's makeup, I believe. I mean, whether it's back to the old 3 car or anything like that, that team's always kind of been in those situations and stuff. And when they're racing for championships, that's part of their game that they play. But it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, some people respond to it like I did with Kevin last year, or some people just kind of wean away from it and things like that. So it's just every team has its own makeup, and drivers have their own personalities, and a lot of times they don't mesh well together. And we saw that with the 29 and 18 earlier this year. But in general, I mean, everyone's going to work it out in time. Even though you consider yourselves the toughest of rivals, we still do a lot of things together that kind of patch that up at times.